Go through real quick how to build your reports from the ground up, and essentially how to vet projects in your research and get them to the point where you're confident this project is actually worth investing time into in terms of a research paper. So the tool we're going to be using today is CoinGecko. What you should do is actually create an account. That way, when you create an account, you can create a watch list. And every time you star one of the projects, they're going to end up in your watch list. And what this is basically a short list of projects that you have early interest in based on the limited research you did. And the idea is once they're on your watch list, once a week on the weekend or Monday or whatever day you choose, you're going to go into a more deep dive of the project and spend a little more time on it to determine whether or not it's worth investing time into a research paper. So I'll show you what I do normally to get things started. You can structure your search one of two ways. You can either go into categories, and from here you'll see there's various categories. So if you're interested in decentralized exchanges, they're going to have them all listed in here. So it's a really quick and easy way to sort through whatever you're specifically looking for. You can look into ecosystems, you can look into NFTs. So let's say I just do search bar NFT. So here's all the NFT projects, the top 100 anyway. And you can use this as one method. So if you're really interested in a specific segment, you can structure your research that way. Otherwise, you can look specifically for low cap, mid cap, high cap, and blue chip. Blue chip is really only Bitcoin and Ethereum and Binance, basically anything over 15 billion market cap. So let's say you were looking for low cap. I consider low cap between 10 million market cap and 100 million market cap. So normally you'll find 10 million market cap starts on page 10. And yeah, so here we go. So I've actually marked this one off for meter governance. And the way I would start my research on every project, I'll just go in real quick. On the website, if it's a really well done project and they have something that they really want to showcase, they're going to display it all on the home page. So for instance, they have really key VCs backing them. Like Pantera is going to be on Retta's top tier VC list, so this is already a good signal. So is DHVC is on the list somewhere, and then we have a top 100 VCs list. This is going to be absolutely top tier. Portfolio. So in crypto, they're original investors in BTC and ETH, and you'll notice here they're investing in blockchains. So not just minor projects that satisfy or that resolve a specific problem, but they're actually investing in the entire blockchain. So again, this would be a top tier VC. So right off the bat, this looks great to me. I don't even have to go into the research at this point, but just to make sure, I'll scroll down and I'll notice there's some key partnerships of really successful projects. So this already tells me this is going to be a good project. And again, layer 2 interoperability. So this is going to have real use case, especially with all the Ethereum scaling and other projects that are really trying to scale up their blockchains. So right away, this to me is a yes. And if I like the project, what I'm going to do is just star it off here, and you'll see it in the watch list right over here. Oh, so I might have actually unstarred it. So actually, yeah, so it's in there now. Once you've added it to your watch list, you're going to have a whole bunch of them here. And what I advise everyone do is once a week dedicate a couple hours to research, where you'll go into a deeper dive for each project. And at that point, you're going to go into the white paper, the roadmap, the team in more detail. You're going to look into any upcoming milestones that would be a price catalyst, and that's when you're going to do the bulk of your research. This first stage is essentially a quick sift through what's available, and understanding which projects are actually worth your time. So I'll take you through a couple more just to give you a hang of what my workflow is. So again, okay, this is like an exchange, has active users. They have several verticals, so wallet, crypto exchange, nodes, mining. So overall, they're very spread out. Like they don't have a very focused project. They're not trying to solve one problem, but it looks like they're trying to build a case for how many problems they're solving. I never like these type of projects. Team, again, I don't like this kind of anon type team where they're not showing off who they are. What I'll normally do is go into, well, they've only listed the Twitter here. I like to see their LinkedIn and see what previous projects those key team members have been involved in, and then click on the website of those other projects they've been on and see what the status is on those projects or how successful they were. So again, look into the team. Yeah, this one's not really particularly interesting, so I would probably just move on. Again, another exchange. I mean, exchanges are very saturated right now. Unless you got something that's very unique, it's not really going to capture my interest. So right off the bat, I'm not overly interested in that one. Probit. Again, one of the things you're doing in your research, you're looking for social signals. So, do they have a lot of followers? When did they join? How many followers are they gaining per annum? What I'll do then is I'll use Lunar Crush just to see if there's any other social signals. Oh, State Cube. So once you're on here, what I'm actually looking for is their Galaxy score and alt rank. So this is actually pretty good. You know, they're in the top quadrant. Oh, they're basically in the top 400 of all the altcoins they're ranking. Again, they're only ranking a certain amount. Like there's probably well over 8,000 now, but the idea is they're not putting shit coins on here, right? So this is a respectable alt rank. Galaxy score, not too bad. Next thing I look for is their social dominance. So right over here, so that's really good. You know, anything over, I'd say 75% social dominance is a good indicator. It means they're getting good engagement. They're pushing out enough content per week where it's also being retweeted, and they have some influencers following them. Like basically it's a metric that's aggregating a whole bunch of data points, and they're putting it into one indicator here. Bearish sentiment, that's really high, but this is, you know, that's not good. But again, this is, you know, right after the BTC plummeting. So overall, not bad. You know, it's pretty good sentiment, I would say. So the next thing you can do is go into Google Trends, and then here you're going to do Stake Cube. So don't put the website, but actually put in, yeah, so it doesn't really have anything here. I mean, for reference, you could do Chainlink, and you see there's 81 out of 100 for their Google Trend. Here it was 100 out of 100. But like if you go into, let's say, another popular one, Cardano, I mean, it was off the charts. It was over 100 here. So it's tapered off now to 29. But the idea is you want to search Google Trends. If you see a sudden spike, let's say it was a flat line, and then suddenly here in May and into June, it spiked like this. That means there's some really good press coming out for the company, or you know, they're getting some good hype behind it. So that's always a good sign. What you can then do is go into Ahrefs. So this is the free version for the backlink checker. Put in the actual domain. Okay, hold on. I mean, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind. Alright, so once you're here, what I do is I do a search. You see in the top right corner, I'll do content. And then what you're looking for is essentially high DR, so this first column here, 87. Cointelegraph, obviously this is a really high domain authority website in the crypto niche, so this is a great link for content. And what you can then do is go into it and see when it was published. So this is recent. This tells me that they're active, they're very on top of their PR. But again, to verify, you're going to keep going. This is kind of a tedious part of your research, but again, if you understand that hype is what dictates where the price action is heading, then that's why you want to be spending a little more time on this part. So yeah, I mean, there's a trend that they are putting out consistent recent content, and what you don't want to see here is content that's dating back to 2018, but nothing fresh or new being uh, put out in the form of press releases or, targeted content that's getting picked up by big crypto channels like Cointelegraph. So again, once you're done that, you have a good reference point between Google Trends, Ahrefs free backlink checker, and Lunar Crush. This is going to give you your social signals. So that's another thing. Now, in the reports, you're going to also be detailing not only what the company does or how they're fulfilling, they're satisfying a problem that exists, but also key partnerships. You're going to go through tokenomics, what the token unlock schedule would look like. Be very detailed with this and actually start with the tokenomics so you don't waste time on a project researching and then realize down the road that they have poor tokenomics and it's not investable. We only want to do research projects for projects that are investable and will get a return for everyone in our server. So start with tokenomics even before you get into the nuanced parts like the key partnerships and what the team is like and investors and all that. Tokenomics is the first thing that I want to vet before I dive into a project. So then one of the things you can use as well here is you can go into coinmarketcal.com, type in the project that you're doing research on in the keyword section here, do a search, and you're going to find any milestones that are coming up for that project. Hold on, why didn't it go through? One sec, guys. So it looks like their server is a little bit choppy right now. It's definitely not my computer because I'm using an M1 chip with the new Apple, so this is fine. Anyway, the point is, any milestones coming up for WooTrade, let's say, they're going to show up here. What we're looking for is major milestones. We're not looking for burning events where they're going to burn tokens in June or do a monthly burn. We're looking for test nets, main nets, exchange, major tier 1 exchange listings, any major milestone that would warrant good positive price action. So anyway, this isn't going to load, it looks like. So yeah, once you've got the signals, if you want to take the PR part to another level, you don't have to just look here. What you could do is type in the project here in Google and then just go to news, and then you'll see links to anything that was in the news. So again, this is recent. This is only a few days ago, June 13. It's a couple days ago, so that's good. what we want to see, yeah, this is really good. So PR Newswire is one of the big syndicators for press releases, and this is June 1st, so that's very good. And if you want to verify if whichever news release you see is coming from a reputable PR company, what you could simply do is throw that domain into Ahrefs. Here we go again. Alright, so if you see a 92 domain rating, this is obviously right at the top. So 100 is the max, and every niche will have a different maximum domain rating. So this is right at the top. That tells me that this piece of PR is worth a lot of money, but also it's a very strong piece because they have a good viewership, and they're going to get a lot of click-throughs here, potentially an influencer or major whales or an article syndication service is going to pick it up, and this is going to build hype behind the project. So that's another resource you could use when you're trying to understand what the PR is like for that project, or what's the pumpability on the project, and whether or not they're producing enough content. So here you go, 2 days ago, 2 weeks ago, another PR Newswire 3 weeks ago. So I mean, this tells me that they're really on top of their PR now. These guys weren't always on top of their PR, so that's a good sign. Now, let's assume that you've built your watch list. Okay, so now you're in your watch list. What I'll do is I'll allocate a couple hours during the week. Sometimes I'll do it twice a week, and I'll do a deep dive into the project. So at this point, you've already established this is an intriguing project because of a problem they're trying to solve, a really strong use case, or they have incredible VCs, and a lot of potential as a project in general. So from here, what I'll do is I'll go into a deeper research into the team, the roadmap, the white paper, the VCs that have invested, and most importantly, the tokenomics of the project. So now's the time when you're trying to basically filter out which projects are actually worthy of potentially doing a research paper on. And once you've identified it as a good project, I have a column here, sorry, I have a sheet here called potential buys. You can make one for research too, right? So these are projects that you are considering for research paper, and then just throw in the currency, the symbol, a link to their website or white paper, current market cap price, and then start building your project off this sheet. Projects that you have in your watch list that you looked intriguing at first, but then you realize it's not as good as I thought it might be. What I'll do is I'll just remove it from the watch list. So that was Oxbow, and now it's removed. The goal here is to really fill this up during the week, and then take some time on the weekend or Monday or whatever day you allocate for this to do the research. And then the goal is to have this empty by Monday or whatever day your research cycle resets. And then the idea is your research sheet, you're also trying to remove projects that you don't like along the way, and then just keep this up to date long term. And then once you've got a project that you've researched and you really like it and you want to share it with the team, obviously you're going to post it in the research projects, the Google Sheet, and have one of the researchers review, and then share it with the team. Share why you're enthusiastic about the project and what makes it special and why you think we're actually going to make gains on that project. So hopefully this is a good intro to what we're doing in terms of building your research paper from the ground up. And we're going to do more specific long form videos on how to really identify what's a winning project and which ones to stay clear from. But this is kind of just an entry point on how to build a project. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, Gigahoff or Reda. We're always available here to answer any of the questions, and we'll be doing some live streams along the way as well. Thanks, guys, and hope you have a great day.